Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
Let's see, mic check, 1, 2, we on. Mic check. Are we on? Can you hear me? Holla if you hear me. Hey, hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to the 114th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold, and welcome to the show. We're here. We are here. We're back. You know, consistency is key. Yeah, before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. Internet. 1 T, 2 N's. Internet. But we here, man. Yeah, so before I keep going, I wanna what I want to do is I want to do some housekeeping. You know, so I have a show coming up. It'd be nice if I would show you guys, if you guys are listening, you know, I will make sure I read off the details for you. But here we go. Let me make sure I pull this up. Boom. Yeah, so on April 19th, which is, I believe, next Friday. Oh, see, I don't like to date the shows, man. I don't like to date the shows, but I have a show coming up April 19th. So as you guys know, this podcast was shot before April 19th, but I have a show coming up April 19th at 9 p.m. At PK's Lounge. And it's Malcolm in the Comics, my brother, Malcolm Hall, aka Cheap Not Broke, doing the damn thing, man. He reached out to me, asked me to do the show. I said I would love to do the show. Appreciate you, man. So yeah, so if you guys follow me on social media, you will have all the details there. I post the flyers in my stories and all over my posts. So, you know, yeah, I got that coming up. I got to make sure I promote. But yeah, April 19th, Malcolm in the Comics at PK Lounge, man. Yeah, I performed with all these comedians before, all funny people, man. We got K-Dot, we got Penny, my man Dwan. Gonna be a good time. Make sure y'all pull up. But yeah, like I said, I don't like to date the shows, but I gotta promote. See what else we got going on here. So for today's episode, you know, I gotta weigh in on the J. Cole versus Kendrick beef. You know, gotta weigh in on it. Gotta weigh in on it, man. Oh, by the way, welcome back to, I forgot to mention, welcome back to Theobold Studios, where we do it ourselves. We are in the facility. I don't know of a better word to call it, but right now we are in the facility. Right, I gotta have a better name for it right now. But this is where I conduct my business. You know, this is Theobold Studios. Trippin with Theobold Studios. Got some stuff coming in the works. Oh yeah, I'm working on some merch. That was one of my goals for the end of the year, was to kind of start to get my merch out there. So I got some preliminary designs for some hoodies, for some dad hats. You know, spring is coming up, so I'm probably gonna have I'm gonna basically, within the next couple episodes, I'm gonna have the prototypes, you know, because I want to make sure that, you know, when I rock it, you know, I want to make sure I don't make a bunch of nothing. I can cuss now a little bit because I'm past the 2-minute mark. But yeah, I want to make sure that I have I want to make sure that I don't waste my time on some bullshit, you know? Like, I don't want to get excited and have 100 hoodies made and the shit is trash. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want my shit to be lit. So I'm gonna have some preliminary designs. I'm gonna share some of those designs with you. All right. Thinking about definitely for me, for the prototype part. I want to have like a hoodie, a tee, a dad hat, and for the winter time, I'm probably gonna do I'm thinking like fall, I want to do a fisherman beanie, and then for the winter, I want to do a full beanie, you know. But that's the goal, right? I want to be able to rock my own shit, you know, so you know, people can see it, you know, and people are like, yo, where can I get that? Where can I get that? And boom, I got them hooked, right? So right now I'm still working out the designs on what I want to do. I got to work on like, you know, who do I want to produce it, you know, or the manufacturer, you know, because I'm all about quality, man. I want my shit to be, you know, quality. Also, I got a joke I'm working on to where I think there might be a niche in the performance hoodie area. So just you know, keep that in mind. But anyways, you know, that's what's coming up. Also, in the next couple episodes, gonna upgrade my audio. You know, I already kind of did some research. I'm not quite satisfied with my audio. So for all you listeners out there that listen to me on Spotify, I think right now it's just me. I'm my only listener on Spotify, but it's gonna change, you know. As they say, if you build it, they will come. So pause. But now I'm gonna upgrade my audio. I'm looking to do that within the next couple weeks, so I can be booming in your ear. Right. I want to make sure that I'm loud and clear, you know. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get on with the show. As you guys know, I like to start off with my tongue twisties. So here we go. Let's go ahead and pull these up so you guys can read along with me or watch me struggle. The choice is yours, right? Come on, Dre. The choice is yours, right? You always have a choice in Trippin with Theobold land. You always have a choice. All right, so here we go. Let me. It'll probably help if I can see it myself too. Let me get out of this mode here. Okay, boom. Here we are. All right. So I'm gonna read each one 3 times, and like I said, I had to like recreate some of these. I had to, you know, had to do my magic because the site that I go to normally get my tongue twisties is gone. So I had to kind of scrap. I had to kind of make some of these up. So like I said, we're just gonna read these 3, then we're gonna get on with the show. So today's tongue twisties are tied to the letter H for no particular reason. We just gonna read the H's. So here we go. Number 1, Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hares. Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hair. Whoa, that that joint got me, man. I said heavy hairs. Here we go. Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hares. Number 2, does Harry Hunt hunt heavy hairy hares? Oh, that's the same one, man. Why didn't I read these before? Come on, Dre. Does Harry Hunt hunt heavy hairy hares? Does Harry Hunt hunt heavy hairy hares? Last time, does Heavy Hunt hunt heavy hairy hares? And here's the last one. Dang, all hairy. Okay, this is a very hairy tongue twisty. If Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hares, where are the heavy hairy hares Harry Hunt hunts? If Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hares, where are the heavy hairy hares Harry? Man, that's that one up. If Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hares, where are the heavy hairy hares Harry Hunt hunts? Final time, we got to get it. If Harry Hunt hunts heavy hairy hares, where are the heavy hairy hares Harry Hunt hunts? I shouldn't be talking no faster than that, right? I think that's the key to tongue twisties, right? If you can't read a tongue twisty, then you shouldn't be talking that fast, right? So I should probably take my advice, which I probably won't, but it is what it is. So today's episode is in regards to the J. Cole Kendrick beef. I'm not gonna break down the beef lyric per lyric, you know. Like I said, I like hip hop, I like rap, but I want to take a different angle on the beef. You know what I mean? Let me get a sip of this water right quick. Voice is getting parched, you know. I think a few times like my voice kind of gave out on me and y'all thought I was stuttering, but I'm not. My voice just gave out on me. Voice is getting tired. All right, here we go. So yeah, so I want to take a different approach on the Kendrick beef. I don't want to do a. This is the purpose of this episode is not to do an analysis of the beef or of the lyrics within the beef. It's really more of a surface level, top down approach. Look at just beef in general. You know what I'm saying? So first off, I think both are great. You know, J. Cole is great in his respect. You know, but I like Kendrick more. I'm a Kendrick fan. Like I've bought all of his albums. You know, I don't know. Like with Kendrick, I just feel like they're both art. Like they're both artists. They're both artistic. But I just feel like Kendrick, just every time he puts out an album, it's just different to me. You know, it's just different. You know, and I appreciate that because in life it's easy to kind of stick to like a cookie cutter template if something's working. I like to see people reinvent themselves and just take a whole different approach to stuff, you know? So I'm one of those kind of guys, right? Like a lot of people didn't really care for the Andre 3000 flute album. I like it. Andre 3000, if you out there, man, that's a dope album, man. That was dope. I liked it, you know? Like it's a good focus like album to where you can get some work done. You know, you can actually like meditate. You can do a lot of shit to it, you know? So anyways, but as I was on social media, I was reading like a lot of people's responses to, so if you guys aren't aware, which I mean, should be aware. I mean, it's been out there for a minute, but basically Kendrick did a verse on the Metro Boomin album that just came out with a Future, and he basically called out Drake and J. Cole. Then J. Cole came out with his album or released his album, and then he had a couple diss tracks in there. More specifically, he had that what was it called, 7-minute drill or something like that. 7-minute drill. I'm not really good with names of albums like that, you know. I mean, of track titles, but it was I think it was 7-minute drill. I think that's what it was called. Where he basically responded to Kendrick. But then afterwards he did a he had a concert, and at his concert he basically did an apology after he put out the track or after he put out the album, and then he said he's gonna take out the track that this is Kendrick, and then he said he said it didn't sit right with his spirit and all this and all that. I'm like, man, nah, bro. Nah. So you got some people that respected that. And if you respect that, you know, to each his own. But to me, I don't respect that shit. Sorry. It's like once the damage is done, it's like it's done. Like that's part of being a man. You got to stand on that shit. You know? Like here's how I look at it, right? Here's how I break it down. It's like, now if Kendrick and J. Cole were boxing, right? Let's say if they were getting ready to box, and if they were just like talking trash back and forth to each other, and then if J. Cole backed out and said, you know what, I don't want to fight this fight because, you know, because my spirit's not right, or for whatever reason, I would have more respect for that because of the medium, right? Like in boxing, the medium is gloves, hands, the face, you know? In rap and hip hop, the medium is lyrics, right? So if you land your lyrics, it's like there's nothing to be apologizing for. You can't apologize for that shit. It's already out there, you know? It's done. Like you can't, like he was in the studio putting this shit together to respond, and thought about it and put it out there, and then was like, yeah, it didn't sit right with me. Yeah, it just didn't sit right with my spirit. Like, okay, that's good and all, but I mean, you already in the battle. You know what I'm saying? You're already in the battle. You know, So I don't respect that, man. It's like, yo, it like if you step up to the plate, you put whatever you put out there, you put it out there, and then if whoever responds, if K Dot responds, then if you're just like, look, you know what, I'm not really, hey, I'm not in the right headspace, I bow out or whatever it is, cool. But you can't put your shit out there and then come back, hey man, it didn't sit right with my soul. It just didn't sit right with my soul. Like that's kind of like sneak dissing, you know? So to me, it's like that's gonna be a new trend, right? Like you're gonna have people that come out and wanna like half start beefs, right? It's like that slap boxing bullshit. Like you remember back in the day when people slap boxed and then someone would try to hit like a little harder. They'd be like, all right, man, I'm done. Nah, motherfucker, bro, you can't do that. That's whole shit, you know? Um, so I hope, and this is like not because I'm a J. Cole fan. Like, here's the thing, right? I'm being fair. If K Dot did the same shit, I'd be on K Dot's ass like that. Pause. You know? I'd be on K Dot's ass the same way. You know, it's the mindset behind it. It's very bitch made. You know, if you put something out, you can't be like, yeah, nah, I didn't mean to do that. Nah, nigga, you meant to do that shit. Right? So what I hope happens is I hope K Dot comes back and fries J. Cole, you know? Like, you got to take Law 15 into account, man. 48 laws of power. Crush your enemy completely. Now, they might not, like, really be enemies, but when it comes to the craft, it's like, y'all enemies now. You know? And J. Cole shit was, like, so J. Cole's diss track wasn't bad. I didn't agree with it. You know? The beat was dope. The flow was dope, but I didn't agree with it, but it's out there. So, I mean, I want this to be a lesson. So, you know, when people come out with beef, there can't be, it's like, what's that movie? It's like Crimson Tide, right? It's like the whole thing in Crimson Tide was, you guys remember the movie with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington? The whole thing was, it was following protocol to make sure you're sure before you launch a nuke, right? So basically, the USS Alabama was this boat, and Gene Hackman was the captain, and Denzel Washington was the XO, and basically he was second in command, but the chief officer or the chief of the boat had to confer with the XO to make sure that everything, like they just couldn't, like the whole point of why they had what it was checks and balances. You know, like you just don't want to give one person the responsibility of having to launch a nuclear weapon, right? Because once you launch it, you can't take that shit back, right? So that was the whole point, you know. So there was a mutiny on this submarine that was launching this missile, and that's the kind of internal work that needs to be done before people decide they want to go get in a beef. You know, like before you want to fight someone or before you want to like come at somebody, you got to be having all those internal checks. You got to have a team, even if you have to have a team around you, like, yo, I want to do this. And then you got to be held accountable. That was the whole point, you know, because if they launched that missile and Russia basically if they didn't launch their missile back, then the war was on, right? But the fact that Russia, you know, they went through their trials and tribulations to where they didn't launch their missile, that USS Alabama didn't launch their missile, and therefore there was no war, right? So that's the whole point of all this, right? So, nah, I don't like when it comes to this, you can't be doing that shit. You can't do some shit and then apologize after the damage has been done. You know, it's nothing to apologize for. It's like, no, you deliberately did this, right? But here's what I want to say, man, is I want to see, like, I think 2024 is the year of beef. It's the year of beef. You know, Cat Williams started it off, and you're seeing beef on all levels. You're seeing beef in the comedy game. You're seeing beef in the rap game. You're seeing all these beefs just pop up, you know? And to me, it's like this, right? You got beef, and then you got verses. right? The verses was, to me, it was whatever you wanted it to be. But the verses that to me resonated with me the best, or resonated with me the most, was the Earth, Wind and Fire and Ozzy Brothers verses, right? Because they weren't tearing each other down. They were actually doing the opposite. They were actually big upping each other or complimenting each other on their art form, and just they were having like a discussion of a journey of how they got to certain songs, and that was dope. I liked that verses a lot, you know. But when it comes to beef, you know, like hip hop beef, rap beef is cool. Like when it comes to lyrics, violent shit, I don't condone that. But like to me, the best diss track of all time is Nas Ether. Like that's like when you think of hip hop beef, the first thing that comes to mind is that Nas Ether Jay-Z, you know? And the reason why it was dope to me was um it was because he actually talked about Jay-Z's lyrics, talked about, you know, like it was personal, you know? That's what made it dope. It was personal, you know? And to me, I want to see beef evolve, you know? Like I want to see like the beef, the art of beef evolve, you know? Like I want to see the shit um where artists, you know, take jabs at other artists' style. You know, I want to see them take jabs at their style and even like mock their style and do a song mocking they shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it would have been dope if Prince and Michael Jackson were still alive, because if they did a verses, that would probably be the verses of verses, right? But they low key beef, like they didn't like really care for each other per certain interviews that I've watched. But it would have been cool to see something like where Prince, because first of all, it's like, you know, it's kind of hard to compare Prince and Michael Jackson, in my opinion, you know, because Prince, uh, like both were performers, but Prince was a musician. Like he played all like every instrument known to man. Where Michael Jackson was more of like a dancer, right? He was known for like dancing, singing more, you know. Um, but it would have been dope to have Prince make a song that was in the style of Michael Jackson's song, and then have that song compete with one of Michael Jackson's top songs. And it would have been dope to see Michael Jackson get a band that um did something in the essence of Prince to try to, like, you know, like to me it's like the beef needs to not just be about I don't like you, you don't like me, I'm better, you're better. No, like show us why you're better, right? That's where the beef needs to go to. Like if you're rapping, it should be about lyrics and then bars, and then you should be able to like articulate that, you know, and demonstrate that. That to me, because here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, no one is bigger than the craft, right? No one's bigger than the art, right? Like 20 years from now, there's gonna be a rapper, you know, 20 times better or 10 times better than Kendrick, right? But to me, it's like this is where the game can work within itself to elevate the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe I think that sounded kind of meta. I think I used some recursive language, which is, you know, but y'all get what I'm saying? It's like I feel like the art, to me, I feel like for example in comedy, right? Like right now in comedy, like you have like just beef where people just don't like each other, and then you have um right, then you have like the roast battles, and then you have like, you know, roast me, and to me those are all different types of like beefs, quote unquote. So to me, the Cat Williams interview is epic, um, because he was airing out comedians, and you know he was getting on. And the thing I liked about the interview was the fact that he called out comedians that be stealing motherfuckers' jokes, like that joke stealing shit. I don't fuck with that, you know. So I'm glad Cat called that out. But to me, when I go back and watch that interview, um, it really wasn't funny, you know. And to me, if you're a comedian, that's your medium, you know, right? Like if you're a comedian, your medium is comedy and making people laugh. So to me, it would have been funny if he, instead of just saying a certain comedian is not funny, it would be funny if he kind of summed up all of a comedian's jokes and said, this comedian is not funny because his joke style formula is just this, right? And then just had the formula up, you know, and just basically expose the formula, right? And be like, yo, this is why you're not getting laughs, right? This is why you faded off, because your style or your joke structure was this. Tell me a joke, like, you know what I'm saying? So that would have been like funny, right? And then if he did a joke in that format, making fun of that comedian, that shit would have been like, that's what I go for. I look for like the artistry, you know? So, you know, so to me, it's like with the whole Kendrick, J. Cole, well, it's not beef anymore, I don't think, but that's what I want to see. Like, for example, I think Fonte kind of does that in some of his raps, like with like when he raps for Little Brother, like he basically breaks down and, well, he never really, I don't think he didn't have like direct beef, but he had indirect beef. So I guess that's kind of like sneak dissing, but he basically would like talk about what they did at a high level and why that shit was corny, you know, and then he would mock it and make fun of it, right? That to me helps the art form, you know. So I'm all about the art. I'm all about things evolving, you know. Now I'm never a fan of just hate, you know, like I just hate this person or hate. Now I'm not a fan of that, you know. I'm more of, okay, this person or this group does this, this person or this group does this. Let's look at what they do and how they do it and why it sucks, and then make fun of that. You know, that's what I'm a fan of. But anyways, is what it is. Man, my throat, man, my voice, man, it's getting a little cloggy. But I hope in my comedy career, like I said, I mean, if I have to, here's the thing, right? I never want to be the one to initiate beef. Like, that's just not my style. But if someone comes my way with something, I want to make sure that when I fight back or when I come back, it's like, yo, you stepped into, like, people, like, I want people to be like, oh, fuck, we stepped into this. Like, he looked like a little happy, jolly little motherfucker, but this dude came with it, you know? So I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, I'm always thinking, like, you know, if beef came my way, how would I handle it, you know? But right now, I ain't got to worry about that. Right now, it's just me, you know? Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Oh, man. Anywho, yeah, so that really concludes. Like I said, I just wanted to come at it from a high level just to kind of give my 2 cents on it, just to weigh in on it, you know? Like I said, it's not really much of a beef anymore, you know? It's like, man, it's like we got all worked up to, because I was hoping for, like, you know, back and forth albums, man, where, okay, and we're just watching the game just evolve in front of our eyes. But, you know, J. Cole bowed out, so it is what it is. Hey, man, before I tap out, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff. And if you have been listening to me via Spotify, thank you for listening. Make sure you spread the word. AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, so follow me. And with all that being said, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin' with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin'. Yep. Trippin'. Trippin'. Trippin' with Theobold.
Trippin' with Theobold.